Hey guys, my name is Danish and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Imola. So we are back in Italy for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. I have butchered that pronunciation, so bear with me. Before I start talking about the Saturday and Sunday, let's talk about the news that we heard before the race. So this was Alfa Romeo confirming Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen for their lineup for 2021, as well as Williams confirming George Russell for 2021. So this cut out the rumor that Perez was going to Williams next year. So Perez is still out of a seat for next year. So let's see how this improves. So without further ado, let's get into the race. So this was a 2-day race weekend, which means that there was no running on Friday. So it was just one free practice session on Saturday, followed by qualifying in 2 hours and the race on Sunday. So in the only practice session, it was a hectic session for all the teams because they had to learn the new track, learn the new tire compounds, learn the wear and tear of the wheels, and also learn the track limits and test out low fuel runs, high fuel runs, qualifying setup, race setup, engine mode selection, and everything. So it was a hectic session and a lot was done, and the track was always full, which was something nice to see in free practice more often. And after that we came to qualifying, and it was a kind of a normal qualifying, with one exception, that being Russell came to Q2 again. So his title of Mr. Saturday is coming true more and more each weekend, and hopefully Williams progresses even more into a mid-tier team and fights more fiercely in the future. So hoping for that for next year. So let's get on with the race. And as this is Italy, there will always be first lap incidents, and this race was not another exception to that. And this was the contact between Stroll and Ocon, where Stroll was spun out by Ocon. So this is another weekend where Stroll was not on a strong footing, and the first round of pit stops started at around lap 12 or lap 13 for all the soft runners, and it was a medium affair, and people were reacting to each other and pitting. And this was because the overcut was possible, and you could go further in the race and pit and not lose position, or you could even do the undercut where you pit a lap before them and make up time in the next opening lap, and when they pit they will come behind you, so you don't have to do much effort while overtaking, because the only overtaking zone on this track was the start finish straight, which was a bit weak in this weekend. So it was kind of a contrasty thing to the previous weekend in Portimao, where it was overly powerful. So now the front runners were already leagues in front of the others. So Max, Lewis, and Valtteri Bottas were flying in the front with Ricardo in P4 around 10 seconds behind them by this point already. So we already knew who is running in F1 and F1.5 for the rest of the teams, and Formula 2 for Williams, which is sad, but let's not get into this mess again. And coming on to the pits that Max and Valtteri had. So Valtteri was in the lead, and Valtteri and Max pitted one lap in between each other, and they retained their position. But here is the kicker, that Lewis did not want to pit, and his tires were still good, and he wanted to go long. So he wanted to try to do the overcut on the other two. And by the looks of the lap times, Lewis was actually making more and more room while going purple sectors in all the sectors for each and every lap, and breaking the lap record multiple times. And he had a good gap at around 26 seconds, and he was about 1 or 2 seconds within Valtteri's pit range, and he was going to pit the next lap, and he already had the 27 seconds, but tragedy strikes here. Ocon loses his engine and he parks the car at the side of the road, and this was an instant virtual safety car. So Hamilton was at the right place at the right time, and he pit under the virtual safety car and did not lose as much time as he would under green flag conditions. So under green flag conditions, you would lose around 27 seconds or something in the pits, which Lewis already had on Valtteri, and he was also going to pit on this lap, but luck was on his side this weekend, and because of the VSC, he could pit and not worry about being very close to Valtteri, because it would be around a 17-second pit under the virtual safety car. And the moment that Lewis entered the pits and exited the pits, the virtual safety car ended. So it was a lucky period for Lewis, but it gave him a buffer to keep between Valtteri and Max. And this is when we learned that Valtteri had some other car's body parts stuck in his aero plates and everything, and it was losing him a lot of downforce and a lot of aero. So Valtteri was struggling, and Max was catching him very quickly. And this is where Max overtook Valtteri for position, and he got a nice big lead to Valtteri. And the lead with Max and Lewis was still a lot of time, around 10 seconds or something, and Lewis was just cruising away at the front. And this is where disaster number 2 struck, and this is where Max's rear right tire exploded, and this was a tire failure, and this brought out the safety car. And Lewis was already ahead of the pits, and around turn 2 when the safety car was deployed, so Valtteri got the chance to pit because he was a lot farther behind, and Lewis pit the lap after, but it was so close when they exited the pit lane that Lewis was just about a few car lengths in front of Valtteri. And this was also another part of luck that Lewis had, and both the Mercedes did not have to change their tires, but they wanted to be safe after the Silverstone incident that they had this year, so they did not want to risk another tire failure on their part on a race where the Mercedes could win a Constructors' Championship. So talking about retirements, we had 2 more retirements in the race, with Kevin Magnussen, who retired because the upshifts in the car where he was driving would be so severe that he was trying to get a headache, so it was a health concern for him, so they retired his car. And also Pierre Gasly, who was 4th in qualifying and who was looking to have a stunning race because AlphaTauri was looking really strong on this track, and he had a coolant leak which would have caused the engine to explode, so they retired him prematurely and to save the engine and the parts, which was a wise choice. But it was sad nonetheless with Pierre Gasly because he had a amazing tribute helmet to Senna on this weekend at Imola, and the trophy as well. While we were talking about Senna, the trophy also had a diamond at that point of the track where Senna hit the wall, and it was an emotional weekend because there were Senna tributes and Ratzenberger tributes. So while all this is happening, Kimi was running in P5 and he hasn't pit yet, even on lap 45, and he has been running on the same medium tires from the start of the race. So this is an astonishing thing because Kimi also is known to maintain his tires and take care of them for a long period of time. So Kimi going this long was Alfa Romeo's Hail Mary, and hoping that there would be a safety car which would keep him in the points after he pits, but alas, Kimi had to pit on lap 49. So by the time the safety car was ending and it had already sent all the lap cars around, so there were around 6 laps remaining to the end of the Grand Prix, so 3/4 of the grid was on fresher tires, and we were going to see an interesting 6 laps because everybody was going to go flat out and everybody was going to race each other really hard. So this was something interesting and exciting for me. And when the safety car ended and the race got green flagged, it was a really interesting first lap because Kvyat, who was on a set of fresh tires, and in front of him were Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc and Alex Albon, they were going to struggle at the start of the race for not having enough tire temperature. So Kvyat used this to his advantage and overtook 3 cars on the first lap after the safety car. And this was an interesting thing because even before turn 1 he was ahead of 2 cars, and right after turn 3 he was on the shorter straight, he overtook the other car as well. So Kvyat went from P7 to P4, and the only car ahead of him were Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis and Valtteri. So he was right outside the podium places, and he was really trying to push to catch Ricciardo as well. But by 2 laps after the safety car, even Ricciardo's tires had warmed up and he was able to manage come and defend against Kvyat all the way to the flag. And talking about a mess of a race, we had Alex Albon, who really did not have a good race and he was stuck in the midfield for a long time, and even after he had pit, he spun around after the safety car and he pitted again after the safety car ended as well, which was a really confusing thing because he was P15. So even if he went for the fastest lap, he would not get the point, because to get the point for fastest lap you have to be in the top 10. So this was not a call that I understood, but yeah, this was a performance that is really forgettable for Albon and probably might be the tipping point for him to not be in Red Bull next year. So let's see how it goes for Albon's career in Red Bull for the remainder of the season. And talking about newbies, George Russell also did not have a good end to his race because he crashed out behind the safety safety car. So this is a weird occurrence that doesn't happen normally. We had the similar experience with Grosjean in Baku a couple of years ago, where he just spun out with cold tires and he lost it and went into the barrier. So that's what happened with George Russell this weekend as well. Another outstanding performance was from Perez, who was P11 when he started the race, and he held off pitting for a long time, and he came to seventh because of Kevin Magnussen holding up the rest of the field and making a gap where Perez slotted in quite nicely and did not have to do a lot of overtaking on track. And he's showing his strength more and more after each race, while Lance is not scoring a lot. And this shows that Perez must have a seat for next year. But yeah, we don't know where he's going, either to Red Bull or Toro Rosso. We don't know where he's going yet. So let's wait for the silly season to end so all the seats are confirmed. And with Max Verstappen retiring from P2 and Albon in P15, this ended the Constructors Championship then and there itself for Mercedes, and Mercedes became a constructor champion again for the 7th time all the way from 2014, and they have won 7 constructor titles with 3 drivers, so Lewis, Valtteri and Nico. Mercedes won the championship, and now the fight between the drivers championship is just between Lewis and Valtteri, because Max did not score points at P2. He was also mathematically cut out from the title fight altogether. So yeah, Lewis might even wrap up the championship even the next race as well. So it is going to be an interesting last few races, and let's see how if Lewis gets off the pedal after he wins the title. He usually doesn't, but yeah, let's just hope that others can win at the end. So yeah, that was the end of this Italian Grand Prix weekend at Imola. And if you like this video, give this video a like, get subscribed to my channel, leave a comment about things that I missed about this race weekend or you want me to talk about. Follow me on my social media channels. Stay home, stay safe. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.